one, she got, her Groves got it, and she didn't like the look of it, and they switched. Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Groves was like, it's too short for me.
Battery function here, so we'll try to do it for like 15 minutes or so.
Oh, you came
Yeah.
Is it gonna be the same?
106.7 is all Christmas music.
Oh,
You
no.
switch
Is
it
it
up.
the same one?
Yeah. All right.
I started my office.
Yeah.
Can I dress
Yeah.
up tomorrow?
So
I'm gonna wear my same shirt.
okay, here we go. All right. We're gonna just Yeah, we're good. We're just back. We're going to run through this again just in case anybody needs to join later. We'll give it just a couple minutes. We'll go back through. Give it just a minute. Wait, we got one person, so give it a second. If you are new and joining us, give us just a second. I know Mr. Williams sent out some information to anybody that might have missed the first run through of this. So we'll see if anybody else joins us here in just a minute. We'll give it just a second. Hopefully we get a few more people in here. So please be patient. We'll be right with you. All right. Give us just a moment, folks. We're hoping to get a few more people in here, or maybe more. We'll be starting in just a minute. Hi, my name's Eli Harvey. I'm the 7th grade social studies teacher here at Hickory Hills, or one of them anyways. Tonight, if if you're just joining us, our goal is to just try to answer some questions you might have about Canvas or eSchool, or helping you find some of the information that we try to put out on a fairly regular basis that parents might not have access to or didn't realize they had access to early on. So I'm going to go around the room here and try to introduce everybody real quick, and then we'll get going. So I'm going to start with Mrs. Fowler.
Hi, I'm Miss Fowler. I teach 7th grade social studies and science.
Awesome. And then I'm going to do Mrs. Blanchard.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Blanchard, and I teach 7th grade science.
Awesome. And Mrs. Sparks.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Sparks and I teach the 7th grade math and accelerated math.
Mrs. Johnson.
Hi, I'm Julie. I teach English.
Okay, and Mrs. Bullard's here. She had to step out for just a second. She'll be right back. But she's our health and project lead the way teacher. And we're just going to run through some Canvas real quick if you're just joining us. Just some things that hopefully tips and that might help you out here real quick and how to see.
Okay, so in Canvas, when you pick a class, the quickest way to see about assignments is by going to grades. And so you can see that some of these assignments are marked late. This is not one of our students here. We do not deduct points for late work, and we do accept late work. You can clearly see that this assignment is missing. There's a 0 there, so the student hasn't turned that in. There are several assignments here that are missing that do have grades too, so I'm thinking these were probably paper assignments that the student turned in that way. One thing that you can also look for on grades is for feedback. So like on this one, it was late, and then I haven't looked at this comment yet. So there are some comments back and forth here about different things. I know we usually do try to leave feedback about how students can earn credit if they missed points. So if this student didn't do this assignment right, the X means it's considered incomplete. If I click on the conversation bubble, it says that he needs to show his work and have units on your answers. Please add in your work and units and then resubmit. And so one thing that students can do too is you can try a score just to see what it will do to the grade. So right now this student has a 90.99, but if this student were to turn that assignment in, I can try a score and just see what it is. This arrow means that it's not really the score. That's like the revert button, not reverse, revert. And that would take this grade up to 93.13. Notice though that it shows this is not your official score. Revert to actual score. So if your kid tries to tell you, oh look, I've got everything done and I've got 100%, make sure it doesn't say that. It's not that they would ever do that. Middle schoolers don't do things like that. They don't try to trick us at all. So that is Canvas. In Canvas, the best way to find assignments for all of us is probably to go to modules. When I first started using Canvas, I always thought of modules as you had to go through it step by step and complete every single thing in a certain order. That is actually not really it's not at least how I use them. I think of modules as like a file folder for the unit where everything for that unit is located in that same module. So this is apparently unit 2 for algebra. So everything for algebra unit 2 is here. Is there anything else on Canvas that you want me to go over?
Notifications.
Oh, notifications, yes. Okay, hang on, let me close these. So I can actually do it.
Yeah.
So if you're tired of getting lots and lots of emails, especially if you have multiple children at SPS and you're tired of getting notifications and emails about announcements and stuff being graded and things like that, you can adjust those. You need to have your Canvas login information. And then you click on where your name is up here and pick notifications. And then if it's green, it means you're going to get notifications. If there's a slash through the little bell icon, it means your notifications are off. So if you don't want to get notifications when we all post announcements, you just click on that and go to notifications off. But I'm gonna fix that because I actually need those notifications on. So same thing for grading. You can get that taken care of. Any of these, you could pick them all to be off, I guess, if that's what works best for you. You can also just get like a summary. There are different options, a daily summary, a weekly summary, or notify right away, or no notifications at all.
So that's our Canvas. That's pretty basic rundown of Canvas that fits most, if not all, of our classes on kind of how to run them. The other thing is eSchool. I'm going to run through that. A couple things before we transition to eSchool are for both Canvas and eSchool, the login information should be the same. If you need any of that login information, the best way to get it is to call up here at Hickory Hills. And we will post our phone number here in the chat in just a second, but it is 523-7100. But if you call up here, all of our secretaries in the office are great about being able to get that information to you. They might ask you a few questions to authorize that it's you. But to access both Canvas and eSchool, that's the avenue to get your information if you do not have it. And then for eSchool, we're going to run through a couple things that tend to be a little confusing for both students and probably, my guess is, parents as well. And so the first thing we're going to talk about are the information at the top of eSchool and what you have.
So home is home.
Yeah.
Kind of just shows the schedule. Attendance will show like when your student's been absent. It's been quarantined, don't judge me. Grades are the posted grades, like for progress reports or report cards. Those are only updated like once every couple weeks after we actually post something. So the best way to find out your students' current grades and scores is by going to classes. And while that kind of doesn't make sense, you can also click on schedule here and it'll show the schedule. But classwork is where you will find information about assignments. We are supposed to label stuff that's not turned in as missing. So like you can see here, this assignment is missing and should hopefully be turned in tonight. There are also sometimes there are zeros. Those assignments can be made up and still submitted for full credit. Like here's a 0, okay? We even allow redos, like if your student's not happy with their score that they got on an assessment, they can absolutely redo those to earn a higher score.
So, folks, I'm going to change a battery real quick. So give me just a second here.
Okay.
Yes, we are back and good to go. So the next thing on here that we're going to talk about is our 7th grade checklist. This is a weekly checklist that we try to get updated by the beginning of the week every week. And on the left-hand side, for most of us, if not all, I think all of us, are seated assignments. So if your student is seated on Monday or Tuesday or Thursday or Friday tends to be over here for many of us. Virtual assignments are on the other side, and then followed by due dates on the right-hand side. The other important thing to keep in mind is the checklist here. What we try to do is students have access to this, and so they can make a copy of it on week by week, and then they have access to check those off. Did I get through the review quiz connection or corrections or Unit 2 Lesson 8, Dino Pop, etc. Day by day. So that's both for students, but also parents. Just if you need to check and, hey, did you get this done? Did you get this done? This is what you did today. Or if you want to have an overview of what your student is doing on a daily basis, this is kind of where a quick and easy way to find that.
This link will remain the same for the entire quarter, and we'll just add new tabs at the bottom for each week. And so that way you can reference any previous weeks if you need to throughout the quarter. So we'll keep it active for the whole quarter's worth of assignments and weekly list.
And you can find this on most of our Canvas pages, but the other place you can find it and the other place we want to talk about is our Hickory Hills website. So a few things on here. On the left-hand side, we have the calendar. This is kind of district stuff as well as Hickory Hills events coming up. So you'll see like on November 3rd, there's no school that day for professional development, etc. As we get into athletic events, those will start popping up over here as well. Any news headlines? Right now we kind of only have one going on, but that's the winter sports schedules. You can click on that and it'll take you to any of the winter sports that are going on right now, their schedules. And then on the right-hand side is probably the most important thing for most parents, and that's our quick links. And so anything that you might really need access to for a virtual open house this year, eSchool is super important. Like we just talked about, you can access eSchool there. If you need to access Canvas, it's right here. The 7th grade weekly agenda, which we just talked about, is also on there. Here in the next, by the hopefully beginning of next week, we should have individual Canvas walkthroughs for the 7th grade at least. Maybe other grades coming soon as well. Finally, we have Twitter. Our Twitter page is really active. Mr. Williams does a great job about updating that about any events that are happening here at Hickory Hills, anything that's going on. So if you don't follow us on Twitter, please click on that link and follow us on Twitter. The same thing with our YouTube channel where you're watching. We try to do most of our sporting events, but also our open house are all listed on YouTube. Anything special events, maybe as we get through the year, we'll do some more special events on there as well. But please follow us on there to try to stay up to date. That's going to be the best place, both Twitter and YouTube will be the best place for updated events, daily events on Hickory Hills. And then, like I said, for 7th grade, this checklist is a great way to see what we're doing here at Hickory Hills and what your students are doing on a daily basis. So if you have questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. We would love to have some questions, answer any questions that you might have. We do ask that it stays focused on general stuff, nothing specific about any students or anything like that. But any questions that you might have, we'll be happy to answer. Any questions about maybe classes or any Canvas questions? Anything how we do stuff? Otherwise, we will, if there aren't any questions, what we will probably do is end this stream here in just a minute. When that happens, it usually takes a night for the YouTube overlords to review the video. But this video will be available if you have any questions that didn't come up today. That you might have to come back and say, oh, how do I access that in Canvas again? How do I turn off those notifications, etc. It'd be great to find. I have not gotten any archery information yet. That tends to be a late winter sport. I believe that starts in January. So that information, my guess, is probably going to start coming December. I don't know. This might have it on here. It does. So yes.
It doesn't start to change.
So January is our start date. So that's a third quarter athletic event, but that is the schedule up on the screen right now. And
You just go talk to Mr. Sparkman.
And Mr. Sparkman is the coach of archery. His information should be on the Hickory Hills website if you need to email him. All right, any other questions? Okay, we will end the stream here then for tonight if there aren't any other questions. Like I said, if you need to come back through and watch this, will be available, probably start tomorrow morning. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. We really appreciate feedback or any questions you have. So please email us, message us in Canvas. Feel free to, if you can't do it, either of those, call up to the school, leave us a voicemail. The secretaries in the office can always send you in, and we will try to get back to you as quickly as possible, so that we can to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you again from the 7th grade team, and have a good night.